Okay, we've never done one of these.
What are we
Should
talking
we say
about?
that we've never done one of these?
Okay.
We've actually never done a video like this where we kind of just sit down and talk. I feel like we should say, people don't know who we are. I'm Ashley.
And I am Christian.
Hence Christian and Ashley, or Ashley and Christian.
So.
We're gonna talk a bit about kind of where the videos that we've posted, when they came from, what we still have to post, and what this year is gonna look like with us, with everything that's going on, with all the craziness that's happening.
I am 23. Ashley is 23.
Yeah, we're both 23. I'm a nurse. I work in the ICU at one of my local hospitals.
And I work for an aviation company.
All the videos that we've posted so far on our channel are actually from last year. That was our honeymoon trip. We were in Europe for about 5 weeks after we got married. So all those videos are from almost a year ago now, which is crazy. And we've taken quite a few trips since then that we've recorded and still have to post. We did Canada, then we went on a cruise, and then I just went to Patagonia with my dad.
Yeah.
So all those videos, as well as I think one or two more from Switzerland, will still be posted. And just a disclaimer, those were all from February and before. So we haven't been traveling at all since this really became, like, the pandemic became a pandemic.
Yeah.
So everything that we're posting isn't current. I mean, obviously no one's even allowed to travel, so we're not just hopping borders over here.
And so all the past videos that we've shared have been on travel from a year ago, but we haven't really got a chance to post some of our new stuff.
And I gotta say, we didn't look at our footage at all last summer. So we didn't catch on to things that we were doing wrong, or things that we didn't like that we were doing.
What we're trying to say, guys, is that a lot of our footage that we originally had was all very new. We didn't even know if we wanted to do YouTube. We just really wanted to document our travels and just kind of keep it for when we wanted to look at it, which is really, I mean, it is at the base of it all. It is something that you can reflect on, as you start traveling. But since we are creating a YouTube, it is important to make content that is presentable.
If you want to watch.
Yeah, we're excited to show you some of our old stuff, but we're really excited to show you some of our new stuff.
Yeah. So we wanted to just bring up where our next videos will be coming from and when they were recorded, so that no one thinks that somehow we're still traveling.
Right now, obviously, most of you know, it is not a good idea to travel. It's really hurting a lot of people that like to travel, but with that comes, being safe and being responsible. You kind of got to get used to it right now, because that's just, the state that our world's in.
And if you guys have any ideas, things you want to see that we could film while we're at home, I just posted on our Instagram to ask us anything. And Parker asked, how do we plan our trips? And so I think we're going to do a whole video on all of our trip planning, because we plan everything on our own. We don't go on organized trips. And we don't use travel agencies or anything like that. So I think we'd love to take you through a whole process of maybe, like a couple different cities. I don't know, just if you have any ideas of things that we could film while we're at home, then let us know, because it's kind of hard to come up with ideas when you can't really leave your house.
Yeah, it really does take some time to plan, especially if you're doing it on a budget, which we 95% of the time are.
Oh, yeah.
I think we always will. That's not something that we'll ever take for granted, is, saving money and doing as much as you can with the money that you have.
So depending on how the next, 2 to 3 months goes, is going to decide if we go on the trip that we have planned for August. Nobody has a
Prediction.
100% of an idea of what's going to happen. We don't know what treatments are going to come out, what testing will be available, what countries are going to put into place to keep their citizens safe. So we don't know whether travel is going to be an option or not by the time that we want to leave, which is August 19th. And we're supposed to be going to Norway, Latvia, Russia, Croatia, Romania, Hungary,
and Denmark.
And then like a little layover in London. And it's totally, we don't know.
Yeah.
It's not even just if the countries are doing well or how we're doing, or if we're going to be able to fly there. Some countries might not allow specific nationalities in, since we are Americans. It just depends on how the world is viewing how our country is handling the pandemic. Our state is doing well right now, but people aren't going to look at a state-by-state basis. Our passports, don't say states on them. It just says American citizen. So some countries might not want Americans this year or next year, who really knows. Hopefully it is safe to travel. We will take more extensive precautions than I feel like we're used to. I've never been someone that comes and wipes down my whole plane seat and tray and table. I think it is partially being a nurse. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm used to this crap all the time. But now this is something different and new. So we're definitely going to be taking wipes. Conscientious of what we touching our faces. I've noticed we are so bad about touching our faces. Editing all these videos, we're always like up in here. But I think we're going to definitely take away from this that it is important to be clean.
So yeah, it's
Not
really
touch
hard.
your face.
We have quite a few countries down already. I think Ashley is at a little over. So Ashley's at 27. I'm only at 23. But yeah, it's hard to say only because that is a lot. But our goal is 100 countries. So we're about roughly about a quarter, almost the way there. So
which is crazy because we're 23. Like, we're so far ahead of where I could have ever thought we would be. And it's just been, that's really where we funnel our money into. And we're going to do a whole video on how we afford to travel. Hopefully it will show some people that it's totally accessible.
Yeah. Possible.
So I posted on Instagram, like I said earlier, to ask us any questions that you had. So AJ Nitro asked, are we going to travel more in Canada? And we haven't posted anything from our Canada trip yet. So it'll all be new. But yeah, so we went to Banff
Calgary
for about 5 days back in August. So we'll be posting pictures and videos from there. Parker asked, what's the process when booking a trip? And we're going to do a whole video on that, especially since we're stuck at home. And then Kayla asked, what is your least favorite place you've ever been?
The way I look at it is whenever you travel, you will have good times and you will have bad times. Now, does that necessarily mean that countries are bad when you have a bad experience? No, not in my opinion. I think countries are only bad because just the time you're there, the situation you're in. But I don't really have a bad country.
Like he was saying, it really depends on your experiences at the time there. Because, I mean, when your bag was stolen in Rome, you were dead set. You're never going back to Italy. Yeah. And for the last year and a half, all Christian has been talking about is going back to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So
true.
I think it's just the situation. I mean, let me think of what I would even say. Least favorite place.
So recently we went to Mexico. I would say that it wasn't the most authentic experience just because we were on a cruise. I'm sure people that go to Mexico often would say that, going on a cruise is, it's not good to experience Mexico.
The cruise we went on stopped in Mexico twice. And the first day we stopped in, where did we stop in? Cozumel? Was it Cozumel?
No, Cozumel. Oh,
yeah, Cozumel.
Yeah, it was Cozumel.
And we didn't stay in Cozumel. We rented a taxi driver. I don't want to say, we didn't rent him. We hired a taxi driver. And we got to go cenote hopping. We went to Tulum on our own without the tourist group. So that day, I really enjoyed it. I think that would be, our least enjoyable experience because there hasn't been a place that we don't like. We like all of the places. It's just the experiences that sometimes don't live up to what we thought. We didn't do it enough justice. Mm-hmm. Like even when we went to Ireland, we did some really cool paddy wagon tours. This was back in 2017. But we were really out of money by then. It was the last stop on our 3-month trip. And we couldn't do what we would want to do being in Ireland. So, I mean, that's somewhere that we didn't get to enjoy to the full extent, but we really want to go back at a later time and give it what it does, give it the time it deserves and the money it deserves. Every country has its own strength. Mm-hmm. And then obviously every country has its own weakness, undeniably so. Living in America, how the world views us. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that we don't have a lot of amazing experiences here either. Another thing that people ask a lot, which is, are you going to travel around the USA? And I think that that's something that we're going to go for later on down the road. Maybe if we have kids, that would be something that would be more accessible with children.
So the thing is with traveling in the USA is that since we're citizens of it, it's really easy to travel. Mm-hmm. It's always there. And the thing is like
That's
we
always
love like the United States. Like, there's so much to travel, and we'll do it when we can. Honestly, like I would say if we are traveling and the spur of the moment want to go somewhere in the States, I'm totally down for that. But right now it's not on our top of the list. There's just so much out there that's ready to be explored. And at our young age, we want to try to take advantage of that.
We just want to be able to take advantage of as many countries as we can and see as many cultures and have as many experiences as we can outside of where we're from, in case for some reason in the future it's not possible. So the last thing we're going to talk about today is where we want this channel to go and what our plans look like for the next few years. I think in the future we definitely want to do a year of travel. That is our big goal, like the big one that we are going to accomplish. Kind of like dead set on it. And obviously the 100 countries is something that we set back in 2017 or so, and that's something that obviously still feels unattainable, but I think we'll get there.
So we have a big monster to conquer, a couple monsters, I would say, which is, Asia. Australia, Africa. So there's
the rest of South America.
Yeah. So our list, although is very full of countries that we've been to, we still have a lot to travel to. And we're very, very excited to go. I'm just like, we both have the travel bug, so like that we won't stop traveling. So with that, we're going to try to create as much content as we can for you guys to see our travels. We're trying to accomplish our goals, but share them so that we ourselves can see all that we've done.
And show our family and friends, and we've had a lot of fun recording. So I'm glad that we decided to go ahead with it. There were a lot of talks about, is this taking away from our experiences here, blah, blah, blah. But it's fun to look back and be able to look at them. Like them moving, not just pictures.
Yeah.
Like the actual what's happening, and hear ourselves talk about it. And also look at how far we've come, and just I wish we would have been doing this since we started traveling in 2017.
Yeah.
We're gonna work on getting the rest of our travels rolled out. I'm debating on kind of skipping posting cruise videos for now and doing it later, just because nobody really wants to watch cruises right now, because we all know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
So hopefully, by the time we're done posting all the way through Patagonia, we're leaving on our next trip, if it's safe and accessible.
Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of this kind of content, and we appreciate it.
Not this content, hopefully. Hopefully it will be in Russia.
Yeah. Hopefully you will subscribe to this content based on our travel videos.
Yeah, go look at the rest of them.
Yes,
they're one side of this, hopefully.
There should be a travel video right here. You can see right after this to see all.
I'll put it up here.
All of whatever this is. So, anyway, that's us, guys.
That's all we got.